Hey Tren.
Hello, Lou. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
What are we up to today? Oh, we better choose a card.
Yeah,
I
we
just
better
thought we've
choose
got
a
all our
card.
cards laid out already, and we thought, oh shit, you haven't chosen a card.
Haven't chosen a card. Let's choose a card. So let's see.
And then we'll tell you what we're doing.
We will tell you what we're doing. Give us a sec. Okay, so what is it about this particular episode that we need to be aware of? That'd be the one.
That'll be the one.
Look what that is.
Oh, how lovely. We're using the dragons, and it's the sun.
How beautiful.
How beautiful is that?
So shining a bit of light on things today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
Making
lovely.
it playful.
Very playful, isn't it? Very playful. That is just such a lovely card.
There you go. So that's what it's about today. Shining the light on something for you guys, which is all about doing something a bit different today.
Very different today.
So there's a deck called the Before Tarot. There's a deck called the After Tarot. And there's a deck called New Vision.
Yes.
And they're all based on the Rider-Waite.
Yes, they are,
right?
aren't they?
Concept of Rider-Waite. So New Vision, no, Before Tarot, let's start with that. The Before Tarot deck is like this, and we alluded to it in our last episode.
We did.
So that's that there. The After Tarot is that deck. That's what that looks like there. And then we have the New Vision. My daughter bought me the New Vision deck. Yeah.
It's lovely.
Which is that.
Just gives you a different perspective on things, doesn't it?
It does. And then there's the regular Rider-Waite deck.
So we have laid out all four. So we have the before, we have the regular Rider-Waite, we have the After Tarot, and we also have the New Vision. We can sort of really tell a story, and we are definitely telling a story from beginning to a different ending.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. And what's interesting about this is you can utilize these decks into a reading. So for argument's sake, I like to use these and all of these cards when I'm doing my 12 monthly forecasting.
Yes.
So I only offer that twice a year, right?
Exactly.
6 months way and at the beginning of the year. And I will lay them out so we can get to see right at the beginning, what are you expecting beforehand, right? And then we look at what will that be as we go through with the general Rider-Waite, and then you might use it as, well, now you've understood and heard all that information, has that changed anything? And we look at the After Tarot, and we might throw in the New Vision to see if what perspectives or things have changed for you specifically. So there is a really unique way to put them all together.
Exactly.
But what we're going to do today is just show the story of a particular card as it marches along.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting.
It is going to be very
buckle up, people.
Buckle up, here we go, right? So we're going to start with the Before Tarot. So it'll be the Before Tarot, the standard regular Rider-Waite, the After Tarot, and then the New Vision.
Yes.
And it'll be in that order, right?
Yes.
So let's start with the first Before Tarot card.
Before Tarot, we're starting with the Two of Cups. And this is this couple that haven't quite met yet, or it's got their eye on each other.
They have. They're just kind of eyeing each other. So there's just two single people standing there. They're facing each other, but the cups haven't, which is the emotion, hasn't yet come in for them as yet. They're not got that yet.
Yeah, and so you can see the difference in the Rider-Waite. So they've got their cup.
In the general Rider-Waite.
In the general Rider-Waite. So you've got your before with the cups haven't been brought down, but now the regular Rider-Waite, the cups have been brought down and the figures are holding them. So you can see the difference there.
Yeah, and then we look at the After Tarot, right? So the After Tarot is where they've embraced.
Where they're hugging.
Right, they've embraced, they're holding the cups, all the things, right? So you can see that story, and we'll hold them all up in a moment, And then we look at the New Vision.
And this is sort of looking as if you're looking
on the other
side of them. So you're just sort of seeing a different, and so we're probably seeing what they saw if they had to turn their head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's actually there's two, when I saw this, I thought, oh, there's two little lovebirds flying through.
Yeah, lovebirds, right? So you can see that. So we'll hold all of them up so you can see the story that it tells.
So you can sort of see You see that?
You can see that story
Yeah.
as it embraces its way along. And of course, we will definitely take photos for you to see, because it's going to be important for this lot to have its photos up, right?
Yes.
Now, fives are a difficult card, right?
I always find five difficult because it's smack bang in the middle. You know, you've come so far, you haven't got over the hump yet. Challenging.
Challenges, right? So we're going to look at the Five of Wands.
Five of Wands
in the before tarot.
Before. So this is the before.
So the before tarot, they're kind of making their way to the scene. They're bringing their own stuff. They're taking their own action. And then
we go to the regular Rider-Waite when they all get, you know.
You can really see the push-pull in that, can't you?
You really can go, oh, but I want to do it this way, no, that way, this way, that way. And nobody is talking, or there's no teamwork.
Nobody's talking at all. Actually, might stop this around, and I might do this way. We're going to have a look what happens on the other side firstly before we see the after tarot.
So then we're going to go new vision.
New vision.
New vision. And so you can see there's actually birds coming into it. And probably
yeah, so there's other influences and other things, and if we hold them all up so far, just
so we've got before, regular, and new vision.
And you'll see, like,
see if I can get that properly.
Yeah, it's just simply the other side. Yeah. We can see the other people that we couldn't see.
Exactly.
Like on the regular tarot, you'll see there's a guy in a green shirt.
Well, that's him there.
Yeah, that's him there. So he's here.
Yeah,
you can sort of over there.
At the back
and now there he is in the front there. And you can see what they're seeing. Exactly. So it gives you a different perspective as well. I like it. Yeah, things maybe you hadn't thought about. And then the after tarot.
Now the after tarot with the Five of Wands.
It's like where we've gone, okay, stop.
Yeah, this is not working.
Stop. Need to put it down. It's not working.
So show the story.
It's kind of like the choice they've made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if I can get that a bit better for you. Yeah, better. So you can sort of see them all coming together with their own ideas, their own ways of doing things. Then they all just go.
They do those own ideas
and
it
just
things,
doesn't
it
work.
doesn't work.
Yeah. And then you can see when they just sort of settle down and go, right, now we've got to make a plan now.
Yeah. So you can see the story in that, right?
Yeah.
So, and working with them when you're working with your clients really helps uncover those things.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
So, okay, what have we got?
We've got the Seven of Cups. Which is, this is the before.
Yeah, so all empty.
All empty. And he's not even looking, so he's back to them, isn't he? Not even looking. And then if we look at the Rider-Waite, the regular Rider-Waite, he's turned around and they're filled up with his treasures.
Yeah, literally.
What he thinks with his treasures.
What he thinks with them, yeah. And then the new vision we'll see here again on the other side. We can see the other things that are impacting their choices that the people or our clients are making. And here there might be consideration about family.
Exactly.
So they may not be making the choice for themselves, but you wouldn't know that. Looking at from those two, you wouldn't know that.
No.
So it's just kind of that other level that you get to work with it, you know.
Exactly.
Get you thinking outside the square.
And then we look at the after tarot,
which is the choice made, right?
So was it really the right choice?
Was it the right choice? Because you can see the cup's empty, he's taken what he wants and he walks away.
And he walks away, but what's he taken with him? You know? Yeah, he could have all his treasures, but what else went with him?
What else went with him, right? Was he aware of that?
Exactly.
You know?
He might have chosen one thing, but something else was attached.
Yeah.
So
something else was attached.
No. Need more fingers.
Yeah. Third pair of hands.
So you can actually see a story happening now.
Yeah.
So, and like we've always said, do not just rely on your one deck if you have the chance. You know, bring others together.
You can see how this does that. Yeah. So, right, we're going to look at the Fool.
The Fool. Now, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Very interesting one. We've got the before, where he's heading up to the cliff, isn't he?
He is. He's got his dog. He's still smelling the roses.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Then he's at the cliff with the Rider-Waite.
And that's the different perception. So you can see what he's seeing now.
Exactly.
And what's in front of him.
So
right?
Does he jump?
Does he not?
Or does he not?
And then we have the after tarot, which actually shows you that that leap wasn't quite as far.
Yes.
And that he is actually still smelling the roses on the way. And he's actually perfectly fine. He can put down his little bandana and the things that he's been carrying and just stop and smell the roses for the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So interesting. All right. What do we got now?
We have the Four of Cups. Now, to me,
this is a funny story.
This puts a completely different perspective on this card. Completely. Now, before, he's enjoying what's in those cups.
He is. He's guzzling that down, and you know, he's thinking about more.
And then he takes the Rider Waite, the regular one. You know, he's drunk 3 of them, and he's questioning whether to take that 4th, or he's just a bit gone to sleep.
Well, here he is. He's starting to see shit. Beggar's just flying along. He's like, oh my God, what am I seeing here? And then he decides that was shit wine anyway.
Exactly.
He tips it out. So
he's seeing things.
He's had enough. I've had enough. I don't want to do anymore. So this basically is like when you're looking at the Four of Cups is the whatever it is coming your way, what you're choosing to see. Are you seeing what's actually there, or are you not?
Or you're seeing what you want to see.
You're seeing what you want to see, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So then we go on to the Seven of Pentacles. And then this is before. He's laying out his wares, he's putting them up for sale or on display, probably.
Yeah, because he's working on the one thing, isn't he?
And then we go to the regular, where he's still working on the one thing, but to me, he won't put anything up on display until it's perfect. Yeah. He's not putting less than up.
Yeah, and like we don't know why he's making this stuff or why that's happening yet. And things are coming in like one at a time. It's like doing the one thing at a time.
And making that, putting all his focus on that one thing.
Yeah. And that's the different view. So we can see there that it is like in a sculptor's area. So it's very much about making something. We can see here's someone in the background sculpting. So you think, well, I don't see him sculpting here. I just see him making something. And he is kind of sculpting, but not to the degree that this fella is, right? Which is what that vision is showing us.
So you can sort of really, and this really does in one way represent this. He is an apprentice. He is just starting his skill or his ability.
And yet, look what he makes.
Look what he makes.
Look what he makes.
So
puts that there.
Exactly. So you might think, oh, I'm just doing this thing over and over, but when you build it into something amazing, it becomes amazing.
And you're right, he's the apprentice. And that's going to lead us, I'm just going to leave this one out for a minute, to the next cards, because now we're working with the architect, right? So he's done his apprenticeship. And now he's looking at the architect, and I know the numbers are going to be a bit confusing, so we're not going to look at the numbers. We're just focusing on the picture. So
we're going to the Three of Pentacles this time. So you can say he's actually now.
He's looking at that blueprint, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He's looking at, what can I do now? I'm showing my wares. What can I do?
How does this need to be, right?
Yeah.
And then, the solid foundation and the architecture where he's carved the things out. We see that the carving out in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And then in the new vision, we can see here, right? This is in the regular deck or the traditional deck. He's looking from the vision, the picture shows the outside in. Yes. Right, therefore it all looks dark. And then here, when you look at it on the reverse side, you can see out and how the light is being let in, right?
And so it gives it a whole new feeling.
Whole new feeling, whole new meaning.
Yes.
And, a whole different lot of activity going on outside there.
So there's more to it.
More to it. And then in the after tarot, we see here, remember in the other tarot how he was sculpting? We've seen the sculptor here, where he's made the big statue, if you will. In the after tarot, he's done it too. He's done it here. So not only has he crafted the 3 pentacles up the top there, which allows the light in, he's also crafted here the statue upon the entrance into that tomb or church or whatever it is here that is entering into. And what else I wanted to show was in the previous card. So as the apprentice, and here he's the architect, the designer, the master, if you will. Look at that. See how he's created that? That's that.
That's that.
So you can see that has come together there. So he's built it here physically and then carved it out there. Pretty interesting.
So it does just go to show that, you know, your abilities is much more than what you imagine.
Absolutely. Way much more than you imagine. And looking at those cards, you can see the story and the journey that, you know, so when you're working with a client, if you happen to, you know, if they're like, I don't know what's going to happen after that or before that, and then you can pull that through and then tell the story for them. Now, you wouldn't necessarily use all of the same cards, like you wouldn't necessarily pull out all the lovers or all the fools or all the three of pens. You would just use it like you would a normal deck. Or you can use it like you would a normal deck and answer their question on a before, after, what else do they need to look at. So whole new workshop we got on that.
Yes, exactly. So if you're interested, let
us know because we've got all that put together.
Yes.
And I like it for, like I said, the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, you know, to see what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, if you're interested in getting reading from Lu, your half yearly or your yearly, shout out, because this is one of the ways that we do it, and it's different to a standard reading. Exactly. Yeah, it's giving you more, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just done differently because you can really break this up. Like you can really go, you know, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. It's just a little different to the standard reading. But we're going to move on.
We're going to move on,
and we're looking at the lovers.
Going to the lovers now. This is before. What we know as the normal, the regular Rider Waite. You know, it's sort of like, oh, you know, a bit of chivalry happening.
Yeah. He's about to help her up, and she's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
You know, well, like, maybe she's saying, "Come hither."
Exactly. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But you can sort of see now. It's like, you know, they're standing their own ground. They are together, but they're independent of each other. You know, so. It's not the damsel in distress. No, I can stand on my own 2 feet.
No, not the damsel, right? And then we have the new vision. So we see behind the angel, and we see behind them there as to what they're looking at.
Yes.
Well, what's in front of them, basically, because they're not really looking at it, are they?
No.
In that sense. And then there's like this truce, if you will, or this, okay, I'll offer you something because you helped me. So a little bit of trust that gets built. And you see that here in the after tarot with the exchange of that apple, right? Or that seduction, you know, that whole, hey, take this off me kind of thing happening. So you see the whole change in that.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
I'm actually focused on the angel holding the sword.
I was looking at that too.
Even it is, how straight it is. It almost feels like, because swords are about communication, it's like it's a harmony with the communication between the two people. Yeah. One way of looking at it.
One way of looking at it. Yeah. So it just kind of extends the story a bit, you know. It does. And it also, like, even you don't even have to have all of the decks, but the whole purpose of working with these decks in this manner is for you to open up and to be questioning, like, maybe what happened before, what happened after, what might a different perspective be, and then tune into the card again and see what you get. But again, a whole series of things we got on that.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So, because I like that, because it's like, well, how did I get here? How did the 10 of Wands get to where he got? Yeah. So you sort of see him, you know, either taking on more work, more than he needed to, or more than he could handle, as shown here in the Rider Waite. Yeah, or he's alone doing it, right? Yeah, you know, and sort of realizing that he's. Well, he looks like he's alone. But again, we'll see. So the new vision shows you, like, there's other people in the fields behind him, you know, or beside him, actually doing other work. So, you know, is that workload fair? Is he actually by himself? Is he put himself in that position? Did this fella in the before tarot, did he accept a contract that was too big? You know, maybe not, because either way he'll continue until
He's got to put it all
So
down.
it gets too much for him.
It gets too much. He's got to put it down.
Find a different way.
Find a different way, right? He's got to consider there, or maybe just choose what it is he specifically needs rather than carrying everything else.
Exactly. Right? Or finding a different way of carrying it.
Absolutely. Different way.
A different way so he can actually see, because he can't see where he's going in this one.
No. So maybe he needs to find a way to see. So interesting.
Yes.
Right. What's the next one?
We go on to strength.
Strength.
I find strength and I often find strength an interesting card, because I think, oh, it's just, it's strength. Of course you're strong. She's strong. I think, what more is there to strength?
A lot.
There's a lot. Anyway, but yeah, again, that's my blind spot. With strength, I just think, oh God, it's strength. Yeah, use that inner strength. You've got it.
What's going on?
What's going on? But this is the before. So the before tarot. And it's like the lion is approaching the woman. Yeah. With mouth open, probably roaring. It's like, maybe a little bit intimidating.
Maybe a bit intimidating.
Her. And then she just goes with the right away. Just come here, you big pussycat.
Big pussycat. Come here. Yeah, calms him down. And you'll see the wreath and stuff, right? She's got, like it's clearly in her head, but it's not around her waist as yet. And then she'll put that around her waist, and somehow there's this calming of this big cat. Yeah. Yes. And then when we're looking at something different, so we're looking at the other side, and we can see that here, how she's taming him here. And again, this is up here, right? So letting us know, like, there's victory there. See, there's a snake on the ground. We don't see that.
No, you don't. You don't see it anywhere.
We don't see that. So we don't see that statue. We don't see that snake. So we're not quite sure, right? So the snake can be, and then again, you think of the metaphors like slithering in. It might have been what scared that big cat, and that's why she's got to tame it. Or
it's actually a snake in the grass.
Snake in the grass, can be shedding the skin. A whole lot of things, right? Will depend. And then right at the end, check that out. Totally tamed that big cat. Yeah. So what started out as something that was a little bit intimidating and a bit of a process and elimination of things, she has completely tamed that cat, feeling completely safe.
Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. A whole lot of other things, of course, but just to look at that.
And then we're moving on to the Six of Wands. And it's interesting. I found this card really interesting. How he receives the wreath and the news,
where does that stem from? What is that all about?
As he come home from war or doing whatever he needs to do, and I was going to say it's king, but it seems to be a monk.
Yeah, so he's giving him that wreath, that says you need to, wear this crown. This is your job, if you will. This is the expectation that you need to do right now.
And off he goes through the streets, showing off. But yes, he is showing off, but it's almost like,
well, he's got the supporters beside him, hasn't he? And he's got to deliver this news that the monk has said, you need
off
to
you go.
Play this part and go and do this. And then we have the other side of what's going on, and we can see the people, because if you look at the regular Rider-Waite or the standard Rider-Waite, the people are behind the horse, but here we can see what the crowd is that he needs to move through. So we look at that and we're like, okay, what other things are influencing here? Is there blockages actually happening to get the news through? Am I able to move forward with ease, or am I being asked a lot of questions along the way? Like, what is it? And then when he finds the destination, you'll see the wreath is undone and he's actually placing it on this girl's head.
Who was destined for, wasn't it?
Yeah, so she's the one in receipt of. So it kind of lets you know the news will get to its destination.
Exactly.
Right? And it will be released at the time that it needs to be released, and that be mindful as you start your journey that there might be a few things that you need to navigate to get that news there. So if someone, for argument's sake, just as an example, was waiting on news, I don't know, for a job or something, then that would let you know that, like the person who's been instructed to do certain things.
Exactly. It may not be straightforward.
The news is on its way. There's a lot of other people they've had to interact with along the way. And then there might be other questions that are coming up as a result of that. However, that news will reach you as and when it's supposed to. Right. And see, you don't see all the other people in the way there. They're here, they're on the other side. So it's like there's nothing blocking, and that might have been what it felt like, right? But there's actually, if it's meant for you, it will be.
Exactly.
So a bit like that in that one. What's our lucky last?
And the last one is the Six of Swords. And this, to me, this really tells a story. So the Six of Swords is the family hopping into the boat, you know, moving away from something that hasn't worked anymore. They've gathered up their belongings, and again, you know, the male person or whatever is really helping that woman, because the child's already in the boat. Yeah, so taking responsibility, helping others get into it.
Yeah, so taking responsibility for your thoughts, taking responsibility for your ideas, and shipping it out, you could say.
Exactly. Yeah, and then off they go on their journey. It's like leaving behind what they need to leave behind.
Turn their back on something, haven't they? So of course, then the new vision will show us what it looks like as they're facing something. Like we see here, we kind of see where they're headed, and then here we see like what they've left behind, because we can see behind them now, you know, and what that looks like and what their demeanors are as they sit there amongst all those things on the thoughts and things on the boat. And then do they make it to the other side? Well, yes, they do. And we see them get out of that and land on the land, you know, where it's safe and dry, and then taking what they can, only what they can carry, and what they're choosing.
So again, you don't have to take everything.
You
don't have to.
Don't have to take everything at all. So
and you might find, especially with those, you realise along the journey is that you've cluttered up things.
Yeah, maybe you've cluttered up things. Yeah. Sorry for the big dog barking in the background there. That's my neighbour's beautiful dog. So we hope that you've enjoyed that. It's a different take. It's just another way, again, to open up and expand. So you're not caught in that tunnel vision, that blind spot stuff that we love to talk about.
And because we all fall into those traps of the blind spots.
We do. You know? So it's just another way to open and expand, just a different way to do it. And if you want to know more about it, reach out, contact us, because we'd love to chat with you about it and let you know what it's about.
Lou's actually got a workshop.
She
has developed a workshop on this before, after.
I have. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. And you can get the cards on my website too. So you'll see them on there as well. So thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, listening, watching,
encouraging us, asking your questions. So again, keep your questions coming. Keep your questions coming, because we will do another listener question episode.
We will. We'll gather them all up, and we do love to know.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
And we will catch you beautiful folk next time.
See you later.
Big love.